So here's another Dark Ascension intro pack. This one's the green-blue Grave Power. I picked up on this one because it's quite unusual within intro packs and theme decks to actually see green-blue combination. They don't always play nice together, but this one's being used to basically create a graveyard-based strategy. So let's see how this particular deck hangs together. So as with all intro decks, you get the actual deck and a nice pack of nice booster pack. So I'll put the booster to one side and let's open up a stack of cards. Again, you get a foil card within the deck. So there's our shiny foil rare Ghoul Tree. A couple of inserts, obviously the how to play guide again, and the instructions on how the different decks, intro decks in the set play out. So let's go through this and just sort of flag up some interesting cards on here. So like I said, first up we've got Ghoul Tree, which is a 7 and a green 10/10. Ghoul Tree costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. So as this is a graveyard based strategy, that's going to help in making this be able to cast sooner. Grim Flowering is card draw for each creature card in your graveyard. 5 and a green, and there's 2 of those. There's a Gnaw to the Bone in the deck. It's life gain for each creature in the graveyard, and it has flashback. Tracker's Instinct. With this you're revealing 4 cards in your library, top 4. You put a creature card from them into your hand and the rest go into the graveyard. That also has flashback for the cost of 2 and a blue, so obviously that's where one of the areas where the blue mana comes into play. And there's 2 Tracker's Instincts. There's a Mulch in the deck, another one where we reveal the top 4 cards of the library and put all the land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into the graveyard. So it's a sort of land version of Tracker's Instinct. And 2 of those. We've got Executioner's Hood, which is our piece of equipment in the deck. So this gives an equipped creature Intimidate, and that costs 2 to cast and it's 2 to equip. We've got Wreath of Geist, which is an aura. So this can be used to enchant a creature, and that creature gets +X, where X is the number of creature cards in the graveyard or in your graveyard. There's 2 of those. Then we move on to our actual mana base. So here's our blue mana base, and the cards here come from the Innistrad set. And then our green. I'll have a quick look at the deck list at the end and we'll see what the breakdown of the mana is as well when we get that. Okay, so we've got Hollowhenge Beast. So this is a straight, no frills, 5/5 for 3 and 2 green, and there's 2 of those. We've got an Acidic Slime in the deck. So this is a creature which has Death Touch. It's a 2/2 for 3 and 2 green, but also when it enters the battlefield you can destroy a target artifact, enchantment or land with that. We've got a Chasm Drake in here. So when this attacks, a target creature that you control gains flying until end of turn, and this also has flying, and it's a 3/3 for 4 and a blue, and there's 2 of those. There's also a spirit in the deck, Tower Geist, 3 and a blue, This has flying as well. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 2 cards of your library and put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So you've got card draw, and also it's pumping your graveyard, which is very handy in a graveyard based deck. Moon Heron, this is straight 3/2 for 3 and a blue, has flying. So you can see there's quite a bit of evasion in the deck. So allow you to sort of fly over your opponent's ground troops. It's also got an Ether Adept. So this is a creature with a sort of unsummon ability attached to it. So it's 2/2 for 1 colourless and 2 blue. So when it enters the battlefield, it allows you to bounce a target creature back to its owner's hand. So you can use it on your owner creatures or your opponents. Armoured Scab. When Armoured Scab enters the battlefield, you put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. So that's just getting stuff into your graveyard. And there's 2 of those. Actually, hang on, no, sorry, 3. And they're a 1/4 for a 2 and a blue. Splinter Fright. So this is going to be one that exploits your graveyard having creature cards in it. It's a 2 and a green. It's got trample, and its power and toughness are derived from the number of creature cards in the graveyard. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, so it also puts more stuff in the graveyard. Brindlebore, it's a 2/2 for 2 and a green. If you sack it, you can use it to gain life, and it's just one of those. You got a Deranged Assistant in here, 1 and a blue for 1/1. You tap it, put the top cards of your library into your graveyard, and also add 1 colours to your mana pool. So more cards with abilities that put stuff in the graveyard. Alluring Siren, you can tap this and target creature opponent controls attacks you this turn if able, so you can force an opponent's creature to attack you. That's a 1/1 for 1 and a blue. Dawn Treader Elk, so this is the sort of same, so you've got a 1 and a green for a 2/2, so it's like a Runeclaw Bear, I suppose, with a sacrifice ability on it as well. For 1 and a green, you can use it to search out a basic land card and put it into your battlefield tapped. So you've got some mana ramping going on here, but you obviously have to sack this to and then pay 1 green to activate that ability. There's actually 3 of those in the deck. And here's another card which is obviously key to this this whole deck, which is Boneyard Worm. So this is another one where the power and toughness is equal to the number of creature cards in the graveyard. So this is 1 and a green to cast. So once your graveyard's getting full of creatures, that's going to really pump that up, and you'll be in a position to basically play that. And it's going to be a pretty big creature, and that's going to obviously get bigger as your graveyard fills with creatures. Ambush Viper has flash, also has Death Touch, so it's 1 and a green for a 2/1, and there's 2 of those. So there's the Grave Power deck. I'm just going to pull out the info insert on this so we can just look at the balance, because I couldn't remember what the mana split was. Okay, so on this we've got 14 forests and 10 islands. In terms of modifying the deck, what they suggest, you could add more Boneyard Worms and Splinter Frights. They reckon also that the 2012 Magic card, Jason Memory Adept, is a good way to help fill up that graveyard. And also Kessing Cagebreaker is a good way to capitalise on a full graveyard, since it creates wolf tokens for every creature card in your graveyard. So really anything in the colours that exploits the graveyard is going to be, you know, good in this deck in terms of saying, well, you know, this amount of stuff in the graveyard causes this amount of pumping, or these amount of tokens to be generated, or whatever. So that's all going to be good. Anything in green or blue that does that is going to be good. So let's have a look at the what's in the booster, see if we've got anything interesting in here. Oh, okay, still got to tell which way around this is now. With these double-sided cards, I'm just going to go from this end, I think, and then we'll just see what we get. So this is our foil, so it looks like, yeah, we're in the other end of things. So we've got Hinterland Scourge, which is actually I think this is a foil of something I pulled in another intro deck. So Hinterland Hermit, full version of that. And we've got a swamp in the deck. Our normal flip card is Moon Scarred Werewolf, which flips from Scorned Villager. Okay, so things we're around the other way this time again. This is going to be our rare. We got Increased Devotion. So this is the card that puts 5/1/1 white human creature tokens into the battlefield. But if it's cast from the graveyard, you put 10 of those tokens into the battlefield. Gavin the Ironwright. Seem to be pulling a lot of these actually. And Niblis of the Breath is a blue. And Warden of the Wall is an artifact. And now we move on to our commons. We have a Fling in here. Kessing Recluse, which has Reach and Death Touch. Sanctuary Cat. Divination, got card draw in blue. Burden of Guilt. Shriekgeist. Okay, so that has got a graveyard related ability on it. When it deals combat damage to a player, that player puts top 2 cards of his or her library into his graveyard. So it's graveyard stuff on your opponent, not on yourself. So we've got a Black Cat, which is the zombie cat in the set, and Russet Wolves. So that's what was in our booster. Okay, thanks for watching.